Very excited. Yes, I did want you to push the button. If you'll be the button pusher. Doreen's going to take the chair. Okay. First, we're going to start by talking a little bit about how ARTIE functions in its communication. So go ahead. So there are two types of ARTIE. There's main ARTIE, who lives in the sky, or in War Games. If you're familiar with War Games, remember that movie? That's Whopper, only ARTIE. And then there's local ARTIE, who lives on your computers. All of our users enter data, keep going, onto their computer, and if they're online, every 10 minutes that information is sent over to big ARTIE in the sky, okay? So that's your sync. At the same time, big ARTIE is sending back a conglomeration of this information to your computer. So there's this back and forth, which is great if you're online. However, when you're offline, the information still stores, but it hits this roadblock. And it basically continues to store and hold until its file gets full. And it happens at different levels at different people, depends how many clients you have, how much work you've been doing on your computer. But essentially the message is, eventually these files will get too large to transfer back to you, and you'll start seeing things that you hit save on not be there when you open it back up, because your system is too full. It literally has no physical capacity to hold the data. So the key is that you want to get online again as quickly as you can. You need to get online frequently, consistently, at least daily. If you're a heavy user, try to do it twice daily. So in the office is probably the heaviest users because of intake. They're on it consistently all day long. They never turn it off, but they're always online, so they have a little bit of a different situation. In the real world, of course, I just showed you what happens if you're online all the time and if you're offline all the time. But in reality, we're never online or offline at the same point in time, any one of us. So while our nurse was online up until 9 a.m. when she left to go to a visit, the chi may have been home from 9 to 10 while that nurse was gone. So the nurse got data up until 9 o'clock. If she compares her computer to the chi computer at 10 o'clock, the chi's going to have more data than she is because she's been sharing back and forth, right? And the nurse hasn't. The same thing with the office computer. Let's say that our wireless was wonderful until 9:30, and then we had a blip, and suddenly we went offline. We won't have the information that the chi put in until this block is taken away. This means that at any 2 points in time, no two computers will have exactly the same information on them. They'll have a lot of it if there's unless we stop work completely. If we stop work completely and let everybody sync on one day, then the next day, everybody would have the same data, but we'd start this cycle again. So this is important to remember when you're sharing your computer and looking at your screen versus someone else's screen, because I frequently I'll get a call and say, I don't have any of this data, but my chi has it, or this other nurse had it, and I can't see it. And once we get through the sync, there it shows up. So sometimes that is an indicator that you have a data file system, but more likely than not, you're just not on the same sync schedule. Okay. That's very quickly we just really like the animation. We like the bouncing arrows.
It was fun.
It was fun. So updates coming this week. We have a huge amount of changes coming that are going to impact the service providers, to impact the visitors. Firstly, and hold your applause or your angel singing, the alphanumeric ID, the funky ID, will now be normal. Yeah. Okay. Now the old case ID will still show for history's sake because you're going to have to get used to what your new case ID numbers are, right? But you can search by either. So when you go in and search a case ID, you can put the alphanumeric in or you can put the new one in, and they will work just like they did in 4D, where they add one for every new case. So it's 1 digit higher. So remember how you had case number 52395, and then you had 52396. That's how they work. Yeah?
Are you saying cases are going to have 2 IDs?
They will. We want to switch just to the case number, to what we're calling case number, because this takes us back. But because we've been at it for a year, we can't get rid of these just yet.
No, because that will screw up our billing for the last year.
Right. So I'm saying you're going to have both.
Forever. So that people come and audit in a couple of
I I think until we can confirm that all of those that we have billed on, going forward, I would not bill with the old IDs unless you've previously billed with the old IDs. Because the idea would be eventually we can make this disappear. It'll still assign it, but we can make it so we don't see it.
But that's not gonna be for a long time.
But that's the only way to go about it. It's going to take time because we have a history. We can't get rid of it.
I guess part of the question is if we have an on-site audit,
Mhm.
will we need to pull up cases by both numbers? and
Either number.
transition? So the new number will have all the old information.
Yes. So they're assigned to the same place. And and this is what your case manager will look like. If you search for D7018BB, this case will come up. It'll show the new case ID number, the old one, the new one, the referral date, the baby name, just like it normally does. You just have two options now. Okay. Appointments can now be entered and tied to visits.
Whoa.
I know, I know. Who knew that one was coming? We are, again, if you run into any problems, we do want to know, but this has been tested thoroughly, and we believe we're in a good place. So, you know, there's always something that can happen, so please give us feedback. Assessment data should stick. Things like your weights or head circumferences. They've made some modifications to the way that it saves in the background. We're pretty sure, I have not been able to make it not save stuff. I keep trying to break it, so, and I haven't been able to.
Is that the insurance as well?
The insurance as well. So some major changes. Date formats in the assessments will now be month, day, year. So you don't have to put in 2013 or 2014, 05, 06. You can put in May 6, 2013. And it actually does have the calendar option where you can click on the calendar and click on the date. Okay? All and suggested assessments work the same as in 4D. So when you're doing the assessments and you would click suggested assessments and it wasn't quite working right, we've switched that order and worked it out. It matches 4D now. Okay, more. There's now a place to document breastfeeding frequency. It's right under your feeding method, so you got your formula and the breastfeeding frequency. And immunizations are now in alphabetical order. So when you do your drop down, they're not just random order. Not a big deal, but kind of nicer. What?
Can people actually be up to date on their immunizations now?
Yes.
That's exciting.
Yes. Okay. ASQ 24 months and older now score. I went through to some old ones and checked it for Lori Hyde because Lori uses a lot of them over the age of 24 months, and they were scoring appropriately, which was great. The other thing, which is going to make, I hope, everybody happy, for the ASQs and I believe the ESIs and the EDPSs, if you have data that's missing, so you have a question that's not answered, before you can save it, you will get an alert now that says this instrument is incomplete. If it's needed for scoring. You know, if it's one of the extra questions, it'll let you leave it blank. Okay.
It doesn't block you.
It doesn't block you. You can cancel and then cancel out of the instrument. But what it does is it alerts you and tells you there's a problem. Whether you put the answer in and somehow it's, you know, it jumped out, at least you'll know right up front during the visit. Administrators and supervisors can remove duplicate instruments. So when this goes live, if you know that you've done 3 EPDSs because you couldn't see them on the same day and you only want one to save, we can go in and delete those extra ones so it doesn't look like you just really like to do EPDSs. Also, and this is very cool, there is now a sync message in the upper right-hand column, corner of your screen, where in the case manager, and it says, has the sync sequence number, that's really for Doreen or I, the last time you synced, the date and the time. So you know, if it says 3 days ago, that's bad. We've got to get you syncing. The other thing you have then below that is sync queue. That's how much data you have waiting to be synced. If it says 0, you got nothing waiting to be synced, you can turn off your phone. This will be helpful for in the evenings when you're syncing and you're not sure if it's done or not. You'll know it's done because it'll say, it'll actually flash because of update once you're done syncing.
But we don't actively sync.
You don't actively
does it?
sync, it's
Yes,
just a message to let you know that the sync has occurred.
Yes, every 10 minutes.
Every 10 minutes when you're online. And if you're seeing that you've been online for an hour and it hasn't been syncing, then that means we've got some sort of an internet connection problem. And then you'll want to talk with Doreen or I, and we can get that worked out. Okay.
Wait,
Taking my breath.
Can we applaud just at this moment?
This was weeks and weeks and weeks of work, and I gotta tell you, and not to toot our horn, but Dory and I were really, they wanted to push this a few weeks ago, and we were like, this is gonna impact everybody so much. We want it perfect, and I mean, even yesterday, I was like, you need to tweak this. I don't like the way this column reads. And so it was a lot of work, but they stuck with us, and I'm very happy that we're seeing the results we're seeing now. It would have been great a year ago, but here we are. So I'm happy it's today and not tomorrow. So, okay, this is maybe one of the largest ones again. Hold your angel singing voices. Patient history section has been added to your left-hand side of your screen. So your reference window there that tells you the baby weights, you now have all recorded infant weights, head circumferences and lengths, which you had before, all recorded maternal weights and heights, first recorded maternal pre-pregnancy weight, all recorded maternal blood pressures.
You had me at the beginning.
I know, right? Okay. Oh no, it gets better. First recorded maternal first prenatal visit date. So the first time you put it in, it's going to show it so you know when it was. All occurrences of missed doctor visits. So you'll get a date every time they said, yes, I missed a doctor visit. Last recorded OBGYN visit date. Last recorded contraceptive.
Yay.
Last recorded contraceptive start date. Last recorded next depot shot date. They will not show if they're blank. And it won't even show as a blank over here because it's saving space. So if you don't put information in, it means it has no information. Okay. Still more. You also are going to get all dates where there was a recorded history of drug use. So that's that 30-day question. So it'll tell you how many times they've answered that question yes. If they answered it no every time, it says will be blank because they've never said yes. So it's only the positives. Otherwise, this would be giant. All dates with a recorded positive cigarette use, and all dates with a recorded positive response to abuse, to the recent abuse. Has anybody slapped, kicked, or hit you? That alcohol was not on our list, but it could be something for the future. Now that we know how to do it, or now that they know how to do it, we'll leave that for the next version. Okay, so. Okay, it's okay. No, it's not. It's not. Because I gotta tell you, the first time I saw this, I cried. Not because it was good. Because it was showing baby weights. I'm like, this baby's not born. Why do I have baby weights? And it wasn't refreshed properly. And Melinda, I went in her office and I was like, Melinda, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to leave. But after a lot of, we've got it where we want it now. Okay, so that was all the stuff for the nurses. For the home visit the home visitors. Here's some stuff for you admin people and office staff. And nurses, you might like this too. Oh, did you have a question, Jean?
Yes, what about the mom's doctor and the baby's doctor? I still have a hard time trying to find them at that whole 5
Yes.
pages of stuff.
That is not actually not the system's fault. That is the fact that we have doctors listed 12,000 different times in the system. And so we're trying to work that out. One of the ways that we're trying to do it is if it's a clinic, the clinics have all been entered as without a specific doctor. So find the clinic, put that in, put the specific doctor in your note. That way we're not going to end up with this giant list every time we put in. Okay. Okay. Report updates coming this week. Instruments can now be exported and printed as a report. Lori Hyde.
Yay.
That's for you, Lori.
Well,
No.
yeah, because with Social Security disability determinations on the babies, we couldn't print out their ASQ or their ASQSE.
Or if we're sending somebody to First Steps, you can now pull up all of the ASQs. They're searchable by case, date, and instrument type. I don't recommend you search with nothing, because then you will get every instrument that's ever been created. Your computer will blow up. Okay. It will. Next. Cases by source report has been fixed and is accurate. This means that we can see where the cases are referred from, and it includes the cases that don't have a referral source. So there's a place that says referral source null. Those are so I just did it for April and said there were 10 that didn't have a referral source. Either for whatever reason.
Can we add new referral sources now, so that we don't have all those now?
That is coming in the next bid. The next bid, which actually I'm told is ready for testing, but we want to get this one out first.
So I'll update the things that have been added in the last year. We've added new
Probably not, probably not. But they'll be listed on your report, they just will be listed as not having a referrer. Caseload report fixed, and in case you didn't hear me, caseload report is fixed. We really like animation. You can now get your caseloads and it will match what happens when you search for your caseload in Case Manager. Okay? We're very happy with that. The visit count report is fixed and accurate. The county service report is fixed and accurate. Keep going. Visits by county report, fixed and accurate. Service lookup report now has city, county, and program showing. So when you were looking up your visits and you didn't know what county they were in or what program, that's all been fixed. There's now a program associated. And the super summary has been fixed, which includes when you run this, not all of you run it, but those of you who run the super summary, the visit counts will be higher than what you had seen before because we're counting both CHI and RN visits. And that is all I have for you today. Okay. And I expect that with last week's, probably tomorrow or Thursday, oh, I didn't even tell you the greatest thing. They figured out how to push all of this stuff without us having to do a hard reload of all your computers. Wow. So, you won't have to call us on a Sunday and say, I need the new data system, which is even better.
When's that gonna happen, Andy?
That is probably going, I expect that we'll have this push for you Wednesday or Thursday, not early next week. Late this week. Only because there's a couple extra tweaks I asked them to create, but they have emailed back already about them, so I think that we're on board.
Awesome.
Okay. So,